Yes. The corrupt politicians in Canada, for example, where I am, the liberals who have been in power for the last over 10 years, the corrupt politicians, they are the fundamental root cause behind this crisis. They don't care. They have actually sold out their own people. In my new book, Imana, to Know Thy Divine Rights, I'm actually questioning that these corrupted politicians in the Western world have sold out their own countries, and they're actually starting to make African dictators look like amateurs. Because why are Africans running away from their own countries? Is because the corrupt African politicians sell out their own country, make it impossible, unlivable for their own nationals to live in their own country. So they have to run away, they have to go abroad to become successful. So these corrupt politicians of the West, in case of Canada, the liberals specifically, who have been in power for over 10 years now, the past 10 years, they have destroyed their own country. They have sold out their own country. And they are trying, they hate their own people for being free. The freedom that we look for, the freedom that we came here for, they hate it on their own people. They don't want their own people to be free. They hate the fact that their own people have become free. And they hate the fact that their own people have nice jobs where they make good money, where they have good working conditions. So they want to import in new immigrants that they can actually pay less and abuse more, because they're coming from dictatorship, or they're coming from poverty, or they're coming from places where they don't really have freedom. So the Western world, which has already become free and which has campaigned to get great working conditions, great pay, they don't want to pay them anymore. They don't want them to live in freedom anymore. So what will they do? They import in new immigrants. They go out of their way to bring in new immigrants so that they can pay them less, they can abuse them more, and then replace their own local population with new immigrants that they can abuse and that they can pay less. And they will take it because where they're coming from is even worse than that. So, the number zero reason of this crisis is created by their own corrupt politicians in the West. The Trudeaus of Canada, the Starmer in the UK, Mark Carney in Canada. And it actually feels like, in the US, they had slavery and then they liberated themselves. And then the solution for some of these big people is to export the labor or the industries to still get the cheap labor, to take the jobs, let's say to China, where China is still oppressing and enslaving its own people so that they can pay less, because people have become free in the West and can't be so exploited anymore. So they will destroy their own country to somehow bring back slavery by flooding their own countries with mass immigration, and then creating a surveillance society, a dictatorship. They are trying to create dictatorships even in their own countries. And then they will create chaos and bring war and civil war in their own countries. What we see in the USA right now happening is actually very, very dangerous, because these politicians will go as far as create a war, a civil war, based on these false crisis that they have created themselves. So the root cause of the problem is their own corrupt politicians.